thus crumbling the economy activities and provoking civil unrest all across Nigeria. The situation has now fueled speculations that the general election originally fixed for February 25th and March 11th this year might be postponed, as unconfirmed reports claim that there are clandestine plots to use this uncertainty to foster by the ongoing crisis to truncate the election. We know that what is currently happening in Nigeria is a calculated attempt by some group of people to ensure that Nigeria does not have a democratically elected president, a democratically elected candidate for the next election. So we want to call on the government to yield to the crowd of people to ensure that, especially the fact that tomorrow is the deadline for collection of the road cash. What will happen to Nigeria after 10th? Because some persons are still surviving based on the availability of road cash. If the government of today do not declare a national emergency to really look at the problem of cash scarcity and fuel scarcity, the nation might be set at risk. And we as a concerned citizen, we don't want that to happen. So it's important that government must begin to look at this issue critically. Where is the Minister of Finance? We believe the CBN should be answerable to the Minister of Finance. The Minister of Finance is nowhere to be found. What is happening to Nigeria? We are only thinking this is not happening by coincidence. There is a calculated attempt to ensure that the next election does not hold. Nigerians will not succumb to this. Nigerians are tired, Nigerians are suffering. You have money in the bank, yet you cannot access your money. Mobile apps are not working, Nigerians are frustrated. You don't have money to survive the family, you don't have money to move from one place to another. Jobs are closing up because of lack of funds. It has never happened in the history of this country as this. So we believe that a sincere government should rise up to this occasion and ensure that everything that needs to be done to salvage this situation, so that Nigerians can have access to cash, Nigerians can have access to PMS, petroleum, Nigerians can run their daily activities with hope of going for the election that comes up on 25th. As a presidential candidate of a third party, as an individual and as a party person, we call on the federal government to stand up and ensure that this situation is looked into. This situation has now fueled unrest in various parts of Nigeria, and I believe it is important and the emergency is immediately called on, economic emergency, to salvage the situation. According to myself, any delay in responding to this issue is very flammable and have the potential of causing great crisis. Any delay will further result to an unmanageable and costly effect to the nation's corporate existence. And I don't know what we are looking at a nation that we cannot cry out, we cannot begin to speak to ensure that the government is put together to do what is right. I have always said it that Nigeria redesign money policy is a good one, but it is a badly executed policy. It's a good one that we design our money to ensure that we curb corruption in the election, but it is not badly executed. Any policies that will impose economic hardship on the Nigerian people must be immediately reversed. The hardship on Nigeria, which is our major concern, it's unbearable and it's not to be allowed. It's a pity that we have not for once allowed this money policy regulation process to get to this level. We have allowed it to show that innocent Nigerians are now the ones bearing the brunt. What is happening to the design of policy is a fight between two gorillas. A fight between two gorillas has further cost the economy on 200 million's life. Nigeria must begin to look at this. I must begin to ask questions. I don't know how the CBN manager expected that their naira redesign exercise would achieve the very purpose of recapturing monies taken out of the banking system when they choose. If we don't have power and we don't have fuel to service our business, then it means that we are in a big problem. So in the light of this, I would appeal to the federal government to declare emergency in the economic sector. This means that every logistic manpower and government must now be mustered to tackle the current crisis and resolve it in the shortest possible time. Let the federal government mobilize men and resources to deal with the naira and fuel scarcity situation to forestall a full-blown crisis and avoid biting the finger of regret later. Let us begin to use this opportunity to urge all citizens of our country to also be calm at this situation, and we believe that in the coming days, government will rise up to the occasion to ensure that we have a safer economy, we have a place that will help us run our business better. I'm a concerned Nigerian, not just a presidential candidate. I'm concerned about the action. Some days ago, I was in the bank to experience the action myself, to withdraw. Some banks today, there is no cash. You go to some bank, what they give to you is 1,000 naira after spending 5 hours in the bank. Some POS operators, which of course I will not blame them, because they also buy, they also need to sell. Federal government have mobilized DSS and EFCC up and down looking for POS. That is not the solution. The POS operators are not the problem. The problem is with the way it's being implemented. They should go to the source and tackle this problem in coming days so that Nigeria will not become a nation that will have a total unrest. We are preparing for election. I believe Nigerians should be focused at choosing the right person that will lead them towards the next generation. I've presented myself to Nigerians. I've told Nigerians what I can do. I've traveled, I've canvassed all the local governments of this country with my representative and myself to tell Nigeria what they can do as to how I will represent and present to Nigeria the new alternative that Nigeria truly needs. What we need now is, as a country, to ensure that we have a good 3 weeks to the election so Nigeria can be focused and elect the right leaders. And again, I also call on the youth of this country. You know, we have, as a country, as a youth, we have been so imprisoned in our mind as youth that we don't even believe that we can aspire to become great in this country. You know, I see a lot of youth that will even mock at youth who aspire to become president because by themselves, they don't believe that they can amount to anything. You know, many Nigerian youth have been so suppressed in their mental or blagata that they believe that they cannot by themselves aspire. But they've forgotten that in time past, we've had youth who are the head of state in this country. We've had youth at 29 years who were ministers. We've had youth at 32 years who were presidents. Obama wrote a book to endorse a particular presidential candidate. And he said he was a president at 39 years. And you will see me talking about presidency, and some youth will mock him. I don't blame them. I blame the economy that have made them to believe that they cannot achieve it. For us, we are here to represent the Nigerian youth to make them believe that we can do it. And as the only candidate representing the youth in the race, we can do it and we can make it happen. If youth all over the world can become president in Grenada, if youth all over the world can become president in UK, in France, in other countries, then how can it not happen here? If I can set up scholarship, can set up universities in other countries, if I can support Nigerians in every facet of Nigeria, then what is it that is too big for us to become president and run this nation? A Nigerian youth 2 days ago won a Grammy Award, 10. It's a young Nigerian. If she had listened to people that will say, oh, you have to start, you have to go through the ladder, she would not have become the first female Nigerian. There are Nigerians that have been singing before her, but she had won Grammy. So we Nigerian youth must believe in ourselves and we must produce ourselves together. And let us begin to run a better country. Let's begin to look at ways to ensure that we put government on their toes to declare emergency on the economy, and we should solve the fuel scarcity problem and the money problem in coming weeks so that we can have a fair and credible election and Nigeria can select the right leaders to lead us to the next election. Thank you.